And you can see here we're only 1 mark away from C grade if we get this and all the previous questions correct. So pause the video now and have a go. Okay, I've seen some really complicated ways of answering this question in the past. This type of question comes up quite relatively frequently, where it says something happens in this duration, something happens in this duration, when will they meet? It's basically asking you for the lowest common multiple of 24 and 20. There are ways of working this out which some people find easier than the way I'm going to go through. The way I'm going to go through is simply to write out these times tables. For me, it's the method I do. There are ways of doing Venn diagrams and finding common numbers between the two sections of the Venn diagram, blah 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 blah. But for this question, it's not. I don't think it's ever worth it. You will always find the answer quicker by just doing the times tables. Something that we need to not forget is the fact that it leaves at 9 AM. So when we work out what the lowest common multiple of both of these numbers is, we need to remember to work that out in hours and then add it onto the 9 AM there. So I'm going to start with 24, and let's put it on the other side so we have them nice and neat. Okay, so 24 times table, so we start off with 24. And then add 24, which is 48, 72, 96, 120, and you can carry on. But what I like to do is do a few of the 24s and then start with the 20s and see if they overlap. Now, I know that 120 is in the 20 times table, but it's important not to do too much work with these questions. So I'm going to do the 20 times table. So it's 20, then 40, then 60, then 80, then 100, and then 120. So 120 is the first time both of those times tables have the same number, so that's the lowest common multiple. So you could write down underneath here, and let's put it on the right side. So the LCM of 24 and 20 is 120. And you don't need to write that down, but it's always best to write down too much than too little. Okay, so that doesn't actually answer the question though. It says when, like what time will the bus to Acton and the bus to Barton leave the bus station at the same time? Now 120, well that's in minutes. So 120 minutes, and so we can write this down. So 120 minutes, if I can spell, is 2 hours. Okay, so if 120 minutes is 2 hours, because 60 minutes in an hour, so we want to write down the fact that 9 o'clock plus 2 hours equals 11 o'clock. And we should write down AM because it's in the morning. So our answer down here will just be 11 AM, and that should be enough to get full marks. Let's have a look at the mark scheme, and you can see the answer at 11 AM, and they're quite happy for you to write down the times table. I've written this down, but it's implied from the fact you've stopped at 120, so you might just want to circle them, and then 9 AM plus the 120 minutes. Now, as you can see here, there's loads of different methods of working this out. Doing the times tables is by far the easiest. Notice here where they've added on the 24 minutes to the 9 o'clock, then added another 24 minutes on. For me, that gets incredibly complicated because every 60 you have to go back to 0 effectively and add on an hour. So here, when you add 24 onto 48, you've got to remember that you can't go above 60 with time. You've got to change this to a 10, and then the remainder is 12. So you can see that it's much easier just doing it in minutes and then just converting the minutes into hours when you add it onto the 9 o'clock.